to get value that we call a balance of trade. Then before the coming of current ambition into governance, what we were doing in Nigeria is that we're just consuming, not producing nation. And any nation that cannot feed itself, any nation that is not producing, there is no way the value of the currency that type of economic spending can have value. That is one. And the second one I want to say is this. You see some of the ships that are coming to Nigeria at a particular time, if you are bringing any goods to Nigeria, that is if you are importing anything to Nigeria, because we are not producing anything, the ship will take times 2 of the money it's supposed to take before it comes to Nigeria. If it brings goods to Nigeria, to take goods back to European countries and etc., there will be nothing to take back. By implication, we are not producing. But after Dangote refinery has come on board, in fact, over 600 ships has loaded refined products from Dangote refinery to different parts of the world. And by implication, it has added a lot to the GDP of Nigeria. And apart from that, it has made people to be busy. Dangote refinery has employed several millions of Nigerians, and they are working there, they are living. Now coming to the implication of this new policy, to me personally, if anybody is saying that it will push up the price of petroleum products, I do not agree. Because one part of the policy of federal government which they put in place is to keep selling crude to Dangote in Naira. If they keep selling to him in Naira, there's no way to start selling to us in dollar. And he has said as long as federal government keeps selling crude to his refinery in Naira, he will keep selling crude to us in Naira. By implication, I want to tell you, the price may likely come down. I don't think the price will come up because the cost of transportation in terms of ship, the cost of tax element which the other country will take before the product will start coming to Nigeria has automatically been removed. If it has automatically been removed, because when you want to look at all these things, the price will come down, the price will not go up. Because the products that Dangote is producing, that they are taking to other neighboring countries, it has a price selling for them. So what the federal government needs to do is just to engage Dangote to catch price, to bring down price. Because when you are refining petroleum products, there are lots you are refining. You are not just refining PMS or petrol alone. You will refine aviation fuel, you will refine diesel, you will get PMS, you will get fertilizer, you will get polyethylene. A lot of things are that you get sludge to be able to manufacture clips and what have you. So what am I saying in essence is that if we are talking about PMS alone, it's just a unit out of what we are refining from crude oil. So the federal government should just engage Dangote and ensure it brings price down. Since we are already selling crude to Dangote in Naira. So to me personally, I don't see any negative implication. The only implication is progress. The only implication is that it will add more to our GDP. Instead of us remaining as a consuming nation, we now start producing. Because if we keep importing petroleum products into this country, I want to tell you this, it will automatically affect what we call a balance of trade. Because what I mean by balance of trade is that we should be able to produce. When we are producing, this is exactly what will stabilize our Naira. Naira cannot just rise up one day and start stabilizing. No, the country must be productive. So that is exactly what the president has done. He has taken a decision along with other stakeholders to say that no to importation of petroleum products into Nigeria. Since we already have a functionable refinery, what that Dangote refinery can produce is not, we cannot consume everything in a day. Yeah, and the production level has increased it to about above a million liters per day. It is talking about a million liters per day. We cannot consume up to that. So what am I saying in essence is that it is a rampant in the right way. It is a good development, and I do not believe when the policy is already in place, it won't harm Nigerians. We don't need to exercise anything.
Okay, before you make your conclusion, Before you make your conclusion, as interesting as this sounds, but it's coming at a time when Nigerians are still adjusting to subsidy removal and rising inflation. Won't this new policy worsen the situation? You mentioned something that is going to, it's going to bring down the prices of petroleum. So, now let's now look at the situation whereby, before the prices will start coming down, like Yoruba will say, and that when you are, giving a child a tribal mark, it comes with pains. So,
thank you, man. Let me tell you this. I am one of those advocates that says that Nigeria should not be importing everything. Even in the last few days, there is a policy that come up with a tax waiver for rice, and that is the policy why the price of rice has got crashed. I said this is not a good one. Instead of doing that, let us support local production so that it will help us. It will put enough food on the table of every Nigerian, and apart from that, it will enhance us to be able to start exporting. When we are exporting, that is what we call balance of trade. It will not harm us, because what the president has done is to say, if you must bring importation of fuel into Nigeria, that you are going to pay 50%. If you are going to pay 50%, the implication is that people will no longer go back to go and export it. It's just the policy is to ensure that people does no longer go there to import fuel into Nigeria. Since we already have alternative, that can produce what we want, why do we need to import fuel into the country? And mind you again, some of the products that are imported into the country, the standard is not okay, because it is what you tell the white people that they will produce for you. They may produce on their standard, they may produce what is not normal for us to consume. So Nigeria should not be dumping ground. So that is exactly what the president has done. It will affect us in any form. It will not. Okay. Because it will only work against the protection of fuel into the country. Simple as ABC. And this will enhance local production. It will go a long way in stabilizing our naira. It will go a long way in increasing the GDP of Nigeria.
Okay, now with the Dangote refinery expected to play a major role in domestic supply, some argued that the policy creates a monopoly advantage. Do you see a risk of market dominance, and how should governments ensure fairness in pricing and competition?
Thank you, my dear sister. Let me tell you this. Federal government has given license to so many organizations that has capacity to build refinery. Federal government has decentralized building of refinery. 2, 3, 4, 5 people can come together and say they want to build refinery. If they cannot build the type that Dangote has built, they can come up with a modular refinery. A modular refinery is not as big as the one that Dangote is having in his hand. There are other people that are already building refinery in Nigeria. By the time they complete their own refinery, I want to tell you this, there are the opportunity for competition. And mind you, the Moneyball refinery, the one in Kaduna, the one in Warri, this is going to be an advice now. Federal government should do something about it. If they either privatize it or sell it, they just have to do something about it, because those refineries are a good location. They should make them working. When they make them working with the policy that is in place, fuel will be everywhere. There will be exportation. This will go a long way in stabilizing our naira, and it will go a long and coming to your question that whether Dangote will monopolize. It is federal government that is giving Dangote crude in naira. If they are giving to him crude in naira, government will equally have advantage of saying, please sell at this so rate for you to be able to have your margin. Government will not just be looking. Government will not just sit there and like to start pushing up price. No, because the control that the federal government is having is our resources. Those resources that are given to Dangote in naira also have been sold in dollars for us to have more money in the jack account of Nigeria. This is the money that is meant for the 3 tiers of government. But now that the government is saying that it's going to be selling our crude in naira, it will go a long way. It will not increase. It will not lead to increase in price.
So how sustainable is this policy if local refining capacity is not fully stable? How sustainable it is?
In about, my dear sister, in about less than a week now, Dangote was refining an average of 650,000 liters a day. But he has increased it to over a million. And the government, the federal government, gave kudos to Dangote refinery when this issue came on board. And federal government went ahead to say that they are determined to ensure that crude are made available to Dangote in Naira. So federal government is playing their own role, and I want to believe that what Dangote will be producing will be far more than, about 100% more than what we are consuming across the country. And mind you, since a subsidy has been removed, the consumption rate, the consumption level of PMS across the country has drastically reduced, because those are the days when federal government is the one paying subsidy for all the fuel we are consuming in the entire African countries. It is the subsidy federal government is paying in the past. It's not meant for Nigeria, it's not meant for the PMS we are consuming in Nigeria alone. It is the entire African countries federal government is paying for, and that was the more reason why the policy of subsidy payment wanted to kill the economy of Nigeria. Now that it has been removed, let me tell you, let me bust your brain. When Buhari was president of Nigeria, the late Buhari, of blessed memory, the idea that was distributed in Nigeria as allocation was 750 billion. But today, the details of government has started sharing over 4 trillion. And today, there is no workers across the country that is not getting their salary as at when due. We then have an opportunity of carrying out constructions. Look at what is happening in Ondo State. The governor of Ondo State just approved 101-kilometer roads. If he didn't get resources to do, where will he get money to? And again, he has just paid over 2 billion to those that for 2016-2017. I'm talking about their gratuity. 13 months salary of our polytechnic has been paid. This is because a lot of money is coming to the tiers of government. So we are making progress. I think Nigeria should be patient for Mr. President. For me, he's a man of his word. For me, he's a man that is doing what is right. So we just have to cooperate with him to ensure he take us to the promised land.
Okay, what role now? Let's talk about transparency and accountability in all of this for the policy, to really gain its ground. What role should downstream and the midstream sector play in ensuring transparency and accountability of this policy?
Yes, this matter is very simple. Petroleum product is not a product that is so small. If you are bringing it to the country, you are using a ship that has a capacity of about 100 million liters. So if that is the case, it cannot be brought into the country in secret, because we have our seaport. It will automatically pass through the seaport. And if the Nigerians coming up with a policy that says pay 15% before you can bring this product into the country, and the price will be getting from the local refinery will be so cheaper. If the people eventually still go, they are not even saying they should not bring it into the country, but technically they are saying they should not bring it. And I want to tell you, the way it comes to transparency, it will, in fact, the situation has won for itself. Issue of transparency does not even arise. When you can get this product in Nigeria for instance for 700. Why will you go to European country to go and bring it in for 900? And marketers, I'm talking about the consumer. The interest that the consumer have is to buy what is cheap. So nobody is interested in buying what is costly. So by so doing, issue of transparency does not arise. The policy will stop petroleum importers from bringing petrol into the country, because we already had a good alternative. Because if production of Dangote refinery has moved from what is used to be 650 to about 1 million, the implication is that there will be more shifts. More people will be gainfully employed. Is it not better for the economy of this country? So like I said, it's a welcome development. It is dangerous for Nigeria to continue to be a consuming country. Rather, we should be productive.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's talk about the broader fiscal implications now. The government says this move will help grow non-oil revenues. How significant could this be for Nigerians' budget and foreign exchange stability in 2026 and even beyond?
Yes, let me tell you this. Since the commencement of the current federal government-led government that is being governed by our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what Nigeria has been getting from non-oil has been much. Because in the past, what we rely upon alone is crude. We rely on crude to survive. We rely on crude to do everything. But presently, we have every reason to thank God. We have every reason to thank who is leading the country at this material time. We are making progress. What we are getting from our non-oil farming produce, we are getting it right. And between me and you, if what is it called? If we are getting enough revenue, this type of revenue can be channeled to agriculture. Because I remember in Nigeria when we have groundnut pyramid in the north, where we have cocoa in the southwest here. These are things that is driving the economy of Nigeria. That's as back as 1960 backward. But when we started after independence, that was where we ran into problem. That was when the baby and the bat were thrown away. But with the way we are going now, government is showing very serious interest in agriculture. Look at this, for instance, those states here, government has just approved agroforestry. That is combination of a cocoa farm with trees. All these policies will go a long way. They are ready to shift part of the forest reserve for our farmers to be able to plant cocoa and only plant trees because the population keeps increasing. Geometrically, why food production is advancing progression. So what the federal government is doing now is the right thing to do, and I want to bet it with you, write it down, quote me. This current policy will help to improve non-oil exportation, and when this happens, it will go a long way stabilizing our naira. When our naira is stabilized, when crude is, when dollars is no longer on the high side, even the little thing we'll be bringing outside the country will be cheap, and when things are cheap, the people will be happy, and the moment people are happy, they will have confidence in this government, and this is just 2 years. After I'm going to believe in another 1.5 years to time, the situation must have changed drastically, and I know for sure that everybody will be happy.
Honorable Adebusuyi, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on the show today.
Thank you, man. Let me use the opportunity to say hi again to all our listeners at home. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you very much. Clearly, while the new fuel import duty aims to strengthen local refinery and stabilize the market, it also tests the government's ability to balance economic growth with affordability for citizens. As Nigerians brace for possible price adjustments, the big question remains: can protectionist policies deliver sustainable prosperity without deepening inflationary pressures? Only time will tell. My name is Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again next week for another deep dive into policies and trends shaping Nigeria's economy. Bye for now.